Welcome everyone to this, the third iteration of GAAPP Academy in 2023. My name is Victor Gascon. I'm the project lead at GAAPP. GAAPP is the Global Allergy and Airways Patient Platform. So we have, today we have available direct interpretation in Spanish. So whoever wants to listen to this webinar in Spanish, please look for this icon. It's called interpretation. It has like a little planet icon and then you choose Spanish there. Si queréis escuchar el webinar en español, por favor, buscar este icono que pone interpretación y elegís español. Si no sale directamente abajo en la pantalla, por favor, darle a los tres puntitos de más. Okay, so before I pass the word to my colleague Ravi, we want to thank our sponsors that made GAAPP Academy 2023 possible this year. So thank you AstraZeneca and GSK for supporting our efforts. So Ravi, now we will introduce Ravi Ruparel. Ravi is the director of platform worldwide, and he's going to be our conductor today. So on to you, Ravi.
Excellent. Nice to have you all here. Hopefully I can be of help to you over the next hour. Sorry, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know how I sound. I'll try and make it easy for the kind interpreter. I'm going to share my screen and I've got some slides that we'll walk through. So I will just make sure that is working. And hopefully you can see that. I've tried my best to look like a true member of the Global Allergy and Airways Patient Platform, colorways, and I hope that everything is clear. I will stop to ask you for questions, or we can stop at the end. So hopefully I'll be able to answer everything, and the recording will be available, and you can always reach out to me if you have any further questions afterwards. So what am I going to talk about? I talk very fast, so apologies if that's the case, but hopefully you'll catch some interesting things. Why should you be interested in doing social media really well? Why am I qualified to talk to you? My experiences, professional and personal. Why do you really need social media? So going back to that key question, what are the challenges that I think you have? How do you measure success? And a little bit about a value formula that we have worked with to really power up how you attract, engage, and support people. And then I think the most useful bit is to go through some real examples with you, so we can just look at them and show you what I think good really looks like. I've tried to aim this right in the middle, so hopefully you know a little bit.
Sorry, I think Ravi, excuse me, I think they're saying in the chat that they cannot hear in Spanish, so I think you need to enter the English channel.
For me,
I think, yeah, I think we both need to enter the English channel
sure, so hold on one second.
On the interpretation.
Sure, hold on 1 second. Yeah. Let me try and do that. So, 1 second, I stopped sharing my screen. Apologies for that.
No worry, no, it also happened to me. I was also in
I need to go and select English.
English, yeah.
Right? Hello, can you all hear me? Somebody give me a good sign. Do you know if it's working now?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I'll start again. I'm Ravi. It's very nice to be here. Sorry you didn't hear at the beginning. I gave you all the secret numbers for the lottery tonight, but I forgot them. I'm going to talk to you for the next hour. Hopefully it can be really useful. I'll share my screen again. And start from the beginning. So I'm going to talk about a few things. You'll have seen it on the screen, obviously, when you couldn't hear me, but talk about social media, why I'm qualified to talk about it, hopefully give you some really good tips to build success, optimize social media, really adapt whatever you're doing. You'll all be at different stages. Some of you will be experts. Sorry if the next hour is something you already know. Hopefully at least one or two things will be helpful, and if it's too advanced, please do reach out to me or ask questions at the end, and I'm sure I can clarify anything. We're going to go through some real examples towards the end to show you what really I think good looks like. And hopefully the next hour is really useful for you. So why should you be interested in doing social media really well? As you all know, right? I have a 13-year-old daughter who lives on social media, is not interested in TV or anything like that. This is a really popular thing, but more importantly, over the last few years, patients have begun to trust social media for the conversations around health, and where people refer to Dr. Google as something that may be a place where you may discover things that will scare you. Social media is a place of help, a trusted way for patients to learn, educate themselves, raise awareness, communicate, donate, and support. What I'm going to talk about is the essence of digital communication. Obviously, digital trends come and go. You know, people are into Instagram one day and then TikTok the next, and different age groups are looking at different things. But some of the essence I'm talking about will hopefully apply to everything and will be long lasting. The thing about digital is it scales really quickly. So this can be a really efficient way for you to grow the audiences, reach to more people, engage and connect to people in the most low cost way. And, you know, we have to remind ourselves that it's only been a few years since all of this has been properly possible. And so many people haven't harnessed it, and it is changing. But for sure, you should be interested in doing this very well. Because without digital, the role of a patient organization is much harder. Who am I? I'm Ravi. I'm 50 years old. I live in London. I'm a father of two, one teenage daughter on social media all the time, and one son who doesn't touch it. So I have both in my family. I run a business that has run health campaigns over the world in 40 countries, 10 disease areas. I'm really proud that together with my team, we have reached over 1 billion people with different communications in different diseases. I'm here today because your director was on a panel with me, experienced the type of things I'm about to talk about. What's interesting about me is not only do I professionally manage social media campaigns and creative content for organizations, pharma and medical device companies, etc., I'm also a patient. So when I got sick, I turned to social media to fight my own battle with cancer, and I've become a volunteer, patient advocate, and work with the patient organization. So I understand things from both sides, and I try to combine that to, you know, make it so that I can really help in a creative, simple, and smart way. I'm also a chartered accountant, so I understand things like resources, funding, money, and things like that, and I want to make sure that everything adds up for you. I'm also somebody who suffers from allergies all my life, whether it's medication or tree nuts or dust mite, and so I really do understand some of the things that may be coming, and I carry an EpiPen. Why do you need social media? It's cost efficient. It can leverage peer-to-peer support, patient-to-patient support. It can make your life easier so that you don't have to answer everything and give people real valuable support. It can help you find volunteers. It can lead to you getting donations. And most importantly, you all unify your voice globally to be strong, to influence research, development, trials, and advancement in the care of diseases and issues related to that. So we should always remember this is why we're here. And I totally understand that almost all patient organizations never have enough resources. There is always a lack of knowledge and skill, because things are moving, but many times people are volunteers. Sometimes you don't know where to start to improve things and where to be. So one thing I know for sure is that 100%, if you only help one person or 10,000 people, this is worth it. And so hopefully this can be important. And it's okay to make mistakes like I have on this slide, which I want to point out. Be fearless. The internet doesn't have a memory. People move on, you know, very quickly. And it's better to do something and move forward than not to do anything. A lot of people talk about KPIs, key performance indicators, and how do you measure success. For me, this is a good checklist. And if wherever you are in your journey with your social media, ask yourself, you know, how well are you helping a large proportion of patients in your territory quickly? Are you helping carers and families of patients with the information they really need? Are you actually building a community across all of the different stakeholders, professional support, patients? Is your effort and energy building more volunteers, more mentors, more advocates, more donators, more advisors? Is everything that you do timely? Often you find that people have their presence and they try hard, but the banner says 2021 or something, or it has a Christmas picture, or has something that is not timely. Or something can happen in the world and you haven't shared it. So being timely is an important one. Are you connecting with research and development? Are you giving people opportunities? Are you giving people surveys, trials and things to participate in? Are you raising awareness? Are people sharing your messages? Are you raising funds? And do you think that you have influence, and are you part of something that's influential? I'm sure there's others, and a lot of, even though I'm a numbers person, I'm not putting in here things like number of followers or number of likes. We have to remember the true purpose here is to help, build, and to connect and raise awareness. So if you wanted to do a pit stop as to whether you're doing any good, give yourself a mark and have a look at the areas you need to improve in. A long time ago, I created this, which needs explaining. Over time, I believe a patient organization can build tremendous value and have authority and value and a larger membership if it simply breaks down its efforts into 3 areas. Attraction, attracting audience, attracting people to what your conversation is, engaging with them, and then ultimately providing the education and support that they need. So I'm going to go through the areas of attraction, engagement, and education and support. And often when we're advising clients and organizations, we find that they're trying to do everything all at once. And I find it very good to just break down what it is you're doing in a way that isolates out. Okay, so what are our efforts to attract people and build our audience? And what are we actually doing to engage people? So often you would find lots of people posting lots of messages, but actually having no events or having no messages or having no opportunity to interact with each other, no private support group. And often you can have a really amazing group of people with lots of fun content and even have some nice events, but actually they're missing the key piece, which is the education and support related to what you're talking about. So I'll go through some of these. There's quite a few points. Hopefully you can take out what you need. But with attraction, and the idea here is that you, I'll go through these quickly. You take something that you like, you can go further investigate. But later on, I'm going through some real examples and hopefully you'll see it. These are opinions of mine based on a lot of work, but I believe that you should try and be present everywhere. I often get asked, well, we don't need to be on TikTok or we don't need to be on Instagram. I think be present everywhere with a basic presence, your logo, your presence, your purpose, who you are, and a contact information. It's very often a mistake that people forget to say how you can get in touch with the organization. Because the reason I say this is that you never know where someone is going to come from that may be able to help. I believe in using good imagery with simple words as opposed to lots of words and no imagery. I'm a strong believer in the use of video. That doesn't have to be professionally created video, but creating content that is everywhere, which is image-led with simple words, and where possible, using video of real people and real stories makes a difference. The algorithms on social media can prioritize video, and people definitely engage much stronger with real stories and with real people's content. I like to turn heads. I think that there's nothing wrong with humor and shock. Every morning, everybody sort of gets up and have the opportunity to scroll through the internet feeds. It's very busy. There's a lot of information to digest very quickly. So being bold is a good thing, and try and latch on to things that are happening in the world. So your content can very well be related to events of the world itself. Use hashtags. Hashtags are really important because in social media, everything can get lost. And so if people want to discover a conversation, hashtag asthma, you'll be able to find everything that everyone is currently using. Obviously, a generic hashtag can be complex because you get lots of content. But if, for example, you're having an awareness month or something, for sure, asthma 23, or whatever it might be a good way to consolidate and bring all the content together. Be very, very clear. What do you need? Help us. Did you know? Keeping it very simple is okay. We don't need to get too smart and detailed with social media posts. People don't have enough time. They just want to know what's relevant. They will have followed you or connected with you because they definitely have got past that first stage of being interested. So give them what they want quickly. We use Canva quite a lot. I don't know whether you've used it or not. Canva is a really low-cost way to create content in a really professional way. So have a look at canva.com. I'm not on a percentage or income stream from Canva. It is one of the really good tools out there. I think you should grow your personality and think like a brand. Are you humor? Are you serious? Are you impactful? Are you gentle? Are you kind and loving? And follow that through in the style that you talk. It's very important. You can't be angry one day and gentle the next day. Grow a personality online with the way you communicate. And match your content to the type of the people, to the channel that you're using. TikTok is an audience that is video led and is very popular amongst younger people, and Facebook is increasingly popular with older people, with a variety of private support groups which are not available on the other channels. So don't post young people friendly content in the wrong place, or don't forget to post your young people content where they will be. Use all the features of social media. Invite people to events, private groups, use live stream. The platforms have done such an amazing job to give and empower you to do things. Play around with them, investigate, make mistakes, it's okay. And then when you find something that's working, go for it. So even though you need to be you can create one piece of content and then put it everywhere. Like it's okay to repeat. You can use TikTok on Instagram. You can use a static image in a reel or something. It's reuse your content. And definitely, if you're not doing it, have a look at amplification using adverts. So boosting your posts or creating adverts of your posts to attract people to come to you to let them know. You can adapt your adverts to achieve your goals, whether you want to send someone to your website or whether you want to grow your audience. So, play around. And in time, if you do all of these things, you'll find there are some really sophisticated things that you can do. And retargeting is one of them. So if somebody comes to your website, you can show them something on their Facebook page as an advert. It's extremely low cost, but if you have a key campaign going on, maybe you've got a survey, or maybe you're looking for some help, volunteers or something, you can really, for very small amounts of money, amplify things. So this area of attraction is about good content, matching audience to the platforms, having personality, having brand. And for sure, hopefully there are some things in there that you can go and investigate further. But attraction is different from engagement. Engagement is where people start to communicate and talk and have strategies for engagement. Private groups, if you don't have them, definitely consider them. They're a great way for patients to talk to each other, to reduce the pressure on you. You should always react. If somebody has taken time to write a comment which is valuable, just click like or say thank you. Very easy to forget these things. I know it's a little bit of work, but as you do it, you'll find that the community builds and other people will be doing it alongside you. Somebody has to go first, and the organizer of a social media page should really go first. If you don't have any themes, I would definitely consider it. You can have 1 month which is about community building and say, right, and it's okay to say, right, we want to expand our audience, please help us, share this, talk to people, recruit people. Or if it's about money, fundraising, donations, then we're looking for donations this month, and create your own calendar of events. Use the tools, run polls, ask questions, share links. You can also set up many automated replies. Sorry, we're not here right now. Please email us or telephone us. And if people are following you, follow them back. It's important. LinkedIn is one of those which is often overlooked. Be present on LinkedIn. Follow the people that are relevant and LinkedIn is a more professional audience. Also, don't be frightened to follow people personally. If somebody is going to be a good mentor, volunteer, advocate, connect with them from your personal accounts, not just the company or the charity accounts or the not-for-profit accounts, because you're looking to build human connection here. Don't forget to capture people's emails, phone numbers, build the connections deeper than just a like on Facebook or a follow or a comment. Go as deep as you can to build your own databases so that when you have newsletters or events, you can invite people. And when you have those events, share the photographs, thank people for coming, and get into some routines, like we want to post 2 times a week. We want to make sure we speak to our members. We at least 3 times a year, we want to have an engaging event, whether it's online or offline. Be very grateful to everyone that is participating in your community, and definitely celebrate everything that is small. It's people in this space and world are volunteering, communication, sharing stories, celebrate everything and have fun. And then the final bit of the journey of attracting people, engaging with them, is making sure that you definitely support them. So sharing bite-sized content of, did you know you could do this? Or have you seen this? Or here's a short tip or trick to help you, is important. Don't forget to continually support to the areas where there are other forms of advice, your own websites or places that governments have provided to get more information about how to look after yourself. Include your contact details for further support, and always monitor everything that's happening, because sometimes people will need help that have written, and if you've missed it, it won't be good. It has a negative impact on what you're doing if you're not supporting people that are asking for it. Definitely consider peer-to-peer support, encourage people to help each other with their stories, consider mentor programs that can be run online, and have themes of specific content, insurance, mental health, COVID, whatever it might be. Make sure you have this area of support that's there for people. And if you see some good levels of support that you've read somewhere else, share the articles. So hopefully, I'll take that back slightly. You understand that in adapting your social media, thinking in buckets of attraction, engagement, and support. And within each of those, there's plenty that you can all do to adapt and strengthen, will help you. And hopefully at least 2 or 3 small things that I've said there very quickly, I know, will be able to help you adapt your strategy. People can have different opinions on what's happening, but everything that I'm sharing here really comes from the heart and personal experience and professional experience. I think my own story is quite interesting. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2018, and it was a complete shock. And one of the first things I did was go onto Facebook, and I discovered a private Facebook page where 6,000 other patients were able to talk to each other 24/7. So the organizer of that page isn't sitting there waiting for me to connect or have an answer. They let everything happen with community rules, and it's really helpful. I can wake up in the middle of the night and have a question, and I will get 10 replies in 5 minutes. There's regular online meetings. They have challenges around awareness months and times. I can have mentors. I've donated money, and I became a volunteer. It's a very small organization that has very little money, and I'll show you here. In May 18th, 2018, I joined the group. Thank you for joining the group. For this group, I recently came home and I had my chemotherapy, and very recently, this is me on stage. I'm a patient advocate. I'm talking in a public event that has been organized, that has also been live streamed, and I have ongoing cancer. And so whenever I have had a problem, which is the second part here, I've had 31 comments and 23 reactions of support. And none of this would have happened without social media. And so it's important to know that this charity has really benefited from mine and other people like me's participation. And if they wouldn't have asked for a patient advocate or a volunteer, I probably would have just carried on having conversations. So don't be frightened to ask, and you never know, and you don't need that many people to make a big difference to your organization. So hopefully you're all good. I think I'm motoring ahead very quickly. The next section is to really go through some examples and highlight to you what is good. And then hopefully we can open the floor to questions. I am going a bit quicker than I expected. Hopefully that doesn't mean I've spoken too quickly. But I've selected a range of social media posts that have been displayed on different accounts and different diseases. And on this page here, this is for diabetes. I love the fact that you have very simple imagery and very detailed explanations in the posts with links for further information and with contact details so that people can connect. This sort of strategy is very popular. You can look here that the number of reactions, comments, and shares that you have are a good sign of success. But that these people are doing the right things, by having simple, eye-catching imagery of real people and having links to further information and contact details. Here we can see a good use of hashtags as well, and this is a celebrity. Please do use subtitles if you can. You can, in many cases on YouTube and things, just turn them on automatically these days. Facebook is translating everything automatically as well if you have multiple languages in your country. And I like this style of work. And it continues here with Alzheimer's. You can see here that good imagery for events that have been run. The sharing of success is really, it's a summer challenge. These are features that can be used from social media very quickly. And I definitely think that you can organize these things and capture good content and thank people. You can use your Zoom recordings as we are today. This is being live streamed on Facebook for those people that are watching. And you can take the recording and share it on YouTube or edit it into TikTok or, reuse your content. And don't be frightened to use something like Zoom, which hasn't been professionally adapted in terms of your logo or anything. But, here you can see in Alzheimer's, there's a very popular event that has been shared and looked at by quite a number of people. I love this Happy National Dog Day. You don't have to stick to the problems of the disease. Everybody is a human here, right? And so humans have pets, and often in patient groups, the connection with what people do in their everyday lives and how they get support from other things, not just humans, whether it's mindfulness or pets, is worthy of a celebration from time to time, and can be very popular because half your audience will have a pet. Feel free to run competitions, and even though imagery can be good, sometimes it's okay to just be very, very clear. What's the one thing you wish more people understood about what it's like to live with? And you get lots and lots of replies when you ask questions like this. And the imagery here is simple emojis. This realness and rawness of communication I like. But it's also okay to, have, messy photos, to show what life is like. Obviously, people with diabetes have their unique things. I understand you're not dealing with diabetes, but hopefully you get the point that there's a variety of style of communication that can work. And you can see here again, you can talk about nutrition, or you can talk about medical devices, or you can even have real photos without any editing or anything like that can really connect with people. This is for cancer research in the UK, and you get two completely different styles of content. This is a sad story about someone who has suffered with cancer and passed away. It's very emotional. It's a loving picture, and everyone will connect with this type of story. So you have a picture and you have a detailed story. And on the other side, you have no imagery, but you have a very clear message. Smoking causes cancer, right? You don't need to say much more than that. And if there is, conversations around pollution or allergens or anything that is relevant. You can use an emotional led style to connect, or you can have a very clear direct messaging, but you can still make that look pretty by using Canva or one of the content tools in order to change the colors or change the font. National Psoriasis Foundation, like we talked recently about news, and around the world, there is conversation about CBD. And if in your country this is something that is happening, is legalized, then, embrace it, because people are wanting answers around it. If it's not, you ignore it. Using real imagery, this is a psoriasis patient, and using humor and comedy in your posts is quite a nice way of moving forward. But in everything I'm showing you, I think you can see that what you shouldn't be doing is having lots and lots of words in the big posts that don't attract attention and don't capture the eye. But once you've got it, you can feel free to use the post feed in order to really set out your detail and make sure that people connect with you and you share hashtags and links. You can also use your videos that you've made as posts, and this can be recorded by anyone. Every mobile phone has a simple video editing tool for free. You don't need to go to an extremely high standard. Obviously, if you can, great. There is a number of websites that you can produce a lot of animation really cheaply in the world right now. And artificial intelligence is creating imagery for free in many cases. For sure, embrace this. I'm not the biggest fan of some of these animations, but some people love it. So experiment and see what your personality is developing like, and what people like, in your own countries. This is a campaign that we've created recently for something called axial spondyloarthritis, and the campaign was about movement, and we took the absolute decision for every piece of content to be moving, and we wanted to overlap clear messages with video footage, and it's worked. And remember to connect your messages to, if this was a campaign about movement but there was no movement in the social media, then I think that would have failed. But it would be a very easy mistake to make. So please do think about what it is you're wanting to say and how you want to connect people to move forward. So that's the main bulk of what I wanted to talk about. And in conclusion, I'll go back to the main slides, that I truly believe that good content can be used efficiently, cost efficiently, to raise a lot of awareness. I think the environment of social media can really connect patients to each other, to allow them to support each other. I believe you can find donations, you can find volunteers, and you can have a really good unified voice. I've been doing this now for 10 years, and in those 10 years, not only have I been able to go on my own journey from a patient perspective and really I'm now, a patient advocate across all of the pharmaceutical groups that deal with my area. But I've also been lucky enough to work with many patient organizations at the global and local level, where the messages that I've just said very quickly to you, I really truly believe, being clear, being bold, being creative, using all of the different things and being present everywhere are hopefully real lessons that I can share with you. And even if you pick up 2 or 3 things here, I hope that you can improve things. I'd love to invite you to ask me questions. I don't know, I'm hoping that you're interactive, and I'll stop sharing, but hopefully I spoke very quickly then, Victor. Yeah, hopefully that was
no, that was great. Thank you very much, Ravi. And first of all, thank you for be willing to donate your time for teaching our member organizations. So we really appreciate your efforts and your time. We know like you're super busy. So I have like 5 questions. So I'm going to read them by order as they came.
There's also, are you going to read the ones that are in the chat here as
yes,
well?
Yes, I'm going to read the one in the chat, in the Q&A, also the ones I had in WhatsApp. So first of all, we have one. The first question is from Nicole Haas. It's like asking if you recommend using paying ads, like social media ads, I guess, and Google ads?
So social media ads, something like Facebook works very well. What it allows you to do is to take a post that is only visible to your audience and take it to other people. Facebook and the social platforms have changed the way. Before, you used to be able to do very detailed targeting. But I definitely know that if you're looking to grow your audience or raise awareness outside of the people that already know what you're talking about, adverts are a really low cost way. As a high level, spending 10, 20, 30 euros or US dollars will get you thousands of people's attention. They may not all be the right people, but it definitely gets you in front of people. And what I would encourage you to do is to not put lots of money upfront, is to put very small amounts of money and see what happens, right? And if it's working for you, you put more money behind it, and you can influence what you want to achieve when you set up your adverts. But for sure, if you're looking, and especially in the area of attraction and audience growing, adverts are definitely a good way. And if you are working, on awareness campaigns, and you don't do an advert, you're not doing yourself justice, because in all of the campaigns that we work on awareness, something like 90 to 95% of the audience that sees the message will have been through a paid advert. So I definitely think you should explore it, but not put all your money in it up front, but do it bit by bit and learn. And try and be clear about what you want to achieve from that advert. Is it awareness, messaging, audience growing? And take it from there. Not all the platforms allow you to do it. I would encourage you to look more towards Facebook and in that area. Google adverts are different. They're about search engines. They can also work for sure, but can be a bit more expensive. Control your budgets and try everything and experiment and follow through what's working, is what I would say.
Thank you. That's a great, and also as an add-on to your explanation, I think we have mentioned this, but Google has a program. It's called the Google Ad Grants that every NGO can apply, and I think you get around $10,000 a month for Google search ads, and it's quite easy to apply. It's called Google for Nonprofits. Actually, next month we have a whole webinar regarding free tools, and we will mention this. But since this topic came in, I just wanted to mention to the audience today.
And actually, always look for the free opportunity for not-for-profits, because there is something called Linktree. I don't know if you might have heard of it, but on Linktree on Instagram is really popular, where you can share all of the places where people can discover you on social media. And if you're a not-for-profit, it's totally free. And so for sure, always be looking out for opportunities for free within this world. Yeah.
Definitely. Next month, we will actually talk about Mondays for free, LinkedIn for free, Google Ads, Digital Leaf, and other topics. But we will talk about more later. So the next question is from Kelechi Wango. And sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly. Say, our organization has a book on asthma titled Asthma, the Family Handbook. It is supposed to be in every home in Nigeria. We don't sell the book. It's free. We use it to get support, to create awareness. How do we use the social media to push it to the populace?
Wow. So I know for sure in Africa there are differences with the way that things work. I have recently returned from Africa. The mobile device is the primary form of people's connection to social media across a lot of African countries. I would say that if you were looking to push this out to people, for sure, advertisement is the way, because you're trying to reach people. So doing social adverts, letting people know about its availability and how to download it would be a way forward. And I would encourage you to test it and make sure that the way you communicate suits the device that people are using. So in Africa and in India and places, mobile phone is really important. So it's even more important to be really simple, with things. So I would use and consider social media adverts alongside making sure that your communication is mobile friendly in order to get more people interested.
Right, and also to top up again in your question, Kelechi, if you contact us, if you contact GAAPP at info@gaap.org, we will be very happy to help you amplify. We have actually 3 partner organizations in Nigeria, so we can all work together to try to promote that very important resource for families. So you can I will put your email in the chat, is info@gaap.org. So reach out and we will happy to help. So the next question, Ravi, it's a little bit, it's about the blocking. So people mentioned Twitter, especially Twitter, is blocking many accounts for patient organizations that do post promoting, not promoting, but appearing to promote medicines or health issues, and this blocking, we actually in GAAPP we have experienced that ourselves. So
Yeah,
any recommendation to avoid this hypersensitive time in Twitter?
Yeah, me too. It's blocking happens generally on adverts. So if you are doing adverts, you are, because every advert is reviewed, and we manage global campaigns, and I would say that the algorithm, what you must remember is that blocking happens automatically. It is typically happening through computer generated blocking. So the first thing is always appeal, because if you believe that something has been blocked in error, it's often in appeal, it can be unblocked, right? Because it was a mistake. It's a machine that is learning and making decisions, that not a human. But you must also be aware of what is and isn't allowed in your country. And in many countries, you're not allowed to promote certain things, right? So there's going to be no escape from that. And the rules that are set out by Twitter and the other social channels are very detailed, and it's sometimes very difficult to understand, but they will all have a section about health promotion. And if in your country something is not allowed, you're not going to be able to do it, right? So adapt your messaging rather than trying to play with the platforms and things like that. And what I would encourage you to do is to make sure that you use your website and things that are outside of the social media to contain content that you want to talk about, but use the social media places to bring people to the website, so that you can be very clever about the way that you communicate. It is a problem, and it's not going to go away. In fact, I guarantee it's going to become harder, right? But for sure, be aware of your rules, always appeal, and try to build the controversial things that your country may perceive as controversial on your website, and use social media to just get people there. So use it almost like a bus or a train, as opposed to the place to actually communicate the message.
That is great advice. And as you say, every country has its own sensibilities. So
yeah,
we have to adapt to the country that regulates our accounts.
We've had real nightmares. So we would be running like a World Awareness Day for a campaign, and we would be live. We wake up in the morning for Australia, and we watch every country open, and we start, the adverts go live, and it's almost guaranteed on one of those World Awareness Day, I will have a heart attack at some point, because Twitter has blocked an advert, and we can't wait for another day. If you are spending money of size and have a big campaign, you can form relationships and have account managers with the social media teams, and you'll be able to contact them personally as well, right? So, you know, but you have to be of a certain size to be able to do that. So fingers crossed it doesn't cause you too much of a headache, but it's better to be real about it. Yeah.
Yes. So the next question is also a little bit of a controversy. So it's regarding TikTok.
Yeah.
So the users say TikTok is gonna be banned in the US or the EU. Do you recommend us to engage in TikTok, knowing that?
So I think that today, right now, I'm interested in awareness and helping people. Many people are on TikTok, and for that reason, you cannot ignore it. Forget the politics, forget the controversies. If your role is to raise awareness and people are there and they're engaging, up until the point it stops, you should be there. It's very low cost to be present on TikTok. It's free to join, and to create and share content is low cost. You might already have it for the other platform. I have been shocked and surprised at how popular TikTok is. We did a campaign for another disease area where the global organization says, we don't want to be on TikTok. And the reasons they didn't have enough time to be present on everything. But what they did, they released the toolkit for everyone to create their content. And the single most popular piece of content that was created for that awareness day was a doctor in Malaysia who decided to wake up in the morning and decided to do a dance to talk about the body parts, right? And you're talking hundreds of thousands of people. And so for that reason, I don't think you can ignore it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That is actually great advice. So the next question, it comes from Dina Grajales from Colombia. She say, how could we increase the visits to the website, and then so the visits don't only stays in the social media, like how to, let's say, how to drive from the social media to the website?
So I think that the first thing is many people forget to tell people to go to the website because it's easily done, right? Yeah. And if you were to look at your last 20 posts, I almost guarantee that you didn't send people to your website, right? Because it's just an easy mistake to make. So first and foremost, you must be clear with people that you want them to do it. You then have to give people a reason to do it. There is more information, there is leaflets. You can, when you're replying in comments, have you thought about going here? Have you recently been diagnosed? Have a section on your website. And so in your answers to people's social media, you keep sending people to the website. In adverts, you can actually have learn more, and you can just set your advert up so that it actually has a click to your website, and people don't do that often. So I would make sure that you repeatedly keep telling people to go, and secondly, use the features within social media to have learn more information from our website. I think also the other way is to make sure that you use Google and you optimize your website so that people can discover you as well, right? Yeah. So not only rely on social media to be sending people there. I do think that in this, the other thing is obviously having competitions, right? So having prizes, having giveaways, this type of thing is something that can drive people there as well. There's no magic answer, but
No.
keep trying. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the next question, it comes from Sunkaru Toure. Sunkaru is from the Permian Health, our new organization in the Gambia. He said, we work in communities with a high number of illiterate individuals, but they use social media. Are explainer videos helpful? And what platforms are available to use local voice over communication to convey messaging in local dialects that are not represented on many social media platforms?
Okay.
It's a little bit of a long question, but I guess it's more like how to convey.
I understand. So I think obviously if keeping things very simple is important. What I would say, I've just returned from Africa, okay, and this is what I learned. I met a young person who was really suffering, who was a homeless person, and they had received support from somebody because they knew what was wrong with them, because there's a big problem with actual diagnosis in some of these countries. And somebody had posted something about this young person on Twitter saying, look at this person, what's going on? And they were able to discover this person in their village and then create human contact and provide human support. And the person who created the video was the local radio station. And so what I would say is that the world is moving forward very fast, right? Fiber optic internet is being installed everywhere. Everybody is getting mobile phones. And whilst people might be illiterate, they have access to information on the internet, which perhaps wasn't there 2 or 3 years ago. So even though people have these problems, making sure that you have an attempt to present information that can be understood clearly and locally is important. In terms of local dialects and things like that, I think it's about the way that you create your content. Somebody has to initiate the content journey. And so it'll be down to you to create content in multiple dialects and things. The Facebook and things do translate, but I think it's important for you to have that attempt. What I would say is that not to be worried by this, because connection is there, people are discovering information, and the fact that information exists gives people something that they never had before. And so that curiosity journey is only just starting in some of these countries. But what I know for sure is over the next few years, it will develop in a speed that you won't believe. It's only 5 years ago, nobody was really a member of a patient organization online in a support group. And today, every minute, there are tens of thousands of patients helping other patients faster than any doctor, hospital, or Dr. Google. So keep with it and keep the communication simple. But remember that you never quite know once you're playing online what might happen. And this young person I just described, life has been changed simply by somebody recording them and putting it on Twitter, right? And so magic can happen in many ways. So keep going. And we're probably just at the beginning of the journey in many countries. And when we look back in 10 years, I'm pretty certain that even the people that are illiterate are on their mobile phone looking at TikTok.
That is great. The next question comes from Susana Martinez. He said, how to respond to social media comments from people who wants to use our community to sell fake products or treatments, especially when patients ask about those products that we don't work. And this is a very common phenomena in
Yes.
patient organization, the
Yeah.
magic,
Yeah.
so people selling magic remedies. And yeah,
that's right. So I would say that the use of private groups for patient treatment conversations is very good, because you can police it much more stronger, and you can keep people out who are doing things like that. By having community guidelines in private groups, you can definitely allow, so you set your rules out. Our page is about sharing information, and we're not allowed to do this, and you can delete, and please do not communicate here. And then in your private groups, you can have conversations. Unfortunately, it's unavoidable, and some places where you can't delete people, and Twitter, for example, you can get a lot of noise. I would put it very high up in your profile that you do not promote, and if you were to see anything within this group talking about this, we're not advocating it, and have your position to say that this is not what we're about. Have your community guidelines. Where you can, remove people, and where you can't, ignore them or hide comments. Now, the algorithms are working quite strongly there, and maybe in your own content, every now and again, remind people about what the good treatments that are available in your country are made up of. It's one of those another overlooked things where every country has its guidelines and approved medicines and treatments and practice. Repeat it and let people know what does good look like and what is right in our country. And because it's very often that doesn't happen on social media, and it's okay for you to regurgitate the basic messages over and over and over again.
That is great. And I think that also applies for any kind of trolling, if you agree with me, not only the ones, the people selling remedies or alternative medicine, but also the ones who has like hateful speech or similar.
That's right. Yeah, just my personal favorite, and I'm sure you will experience this, is the people that leave flowers on your page for no reason whatsoever. I don't know whether you've experienced it or not. And so just some of it which doesn't.
But that's a good kind of trolling, right?
That's right. So just take some of it with love, even though you don't understand it.
Okay, so the last question that I have on the pipeline here is from Nicole Haas. Nicole is from the APEPOC, or the APEPOC, COPD organization of Spain. He said, how can we engage more volunteers and companies related with social responsibility with our disease and patient advocacy groups through social media?
So I would, many people are frightened to ask for help. And so I responded to someone saying, we need volunteers. So do not stop asking, and you don't need to be humble about it. I would for sure ask. Also be very clear about what you need help with. We need help with this, and be very clear what's involved. People's time and resources are what you're playing with here. So remember to sell it to people. Like, this is a fantastic organization. We require minimal time. You might be an expert in social media. We need someone for 30 minutes every month. Please get in touch. If you don't know anybody, let us, if you know somebody else, let them know that we're looking. And it's okay to forward on the requests, right? Please share with your community in case you know anyone that can help a really worthy cause. I think that volunteering comes down to that. And on social responsibility for corporate is to think about using something like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where you will discover corporates. You won't discover them on Facebook unless a patient is also part of a corporate, in which case, does your company that you work for seek to participate in our help? Ask the direct question to people who are already your audience. But I would definitely form LinkedIn pages if you don't have them. And within that, start to follow people and businesses in your local area or your country that you think might be interested. And then post things on LinkedIn which say, hey, we're looking for corporate partners to help us. Are you interested? And if you, there's nobody is ever going to mind you continually asking for help, because they know that's why you exist. You help others, people will help you.
That is great. And also, if you watch our previous GAAPP Academy from, I don't even know what month, from March, we have the session with the president of a corporate, not like a organization is called Jesuba, that actually facilitates the connection of international volunteers with NGOs. It's like a free website tool that you can just register your organization and you can upload projects, and we actually have tried that ourselves and we had success. Like we had 2 projects fully manned by volunteers also. So I recommend you to check. It's in our website. I will just put the website here as well. The challenge sometimes is having enough volunteers that speak all your languages. That's honestly a challenge, but I encourage you to try. And I don't have more questions. So if anyone else have a last question. Oh, so yeah, we have one. So again, from Dina, he say, until, let me like mentally translate this. So how far we should go in showing the political realities of our countries in social media?
I think that's a big question. Okay, I think be clear on your purpose. If your purpose is awareness and letting people understand treatment, care, then stay away from the political reality, right here, because if it's about letting people know what they need to look out for and what they can do, stick with your purpose, right? The world is very complicated and there is enough other people talking about politics. I would encourage you to focus on the reason that you exist. If you are in a country where there are restrictions on what you can and can't say from a political perspective, be very careful and respect them, right? I can't encourage you to do anything that is against the law of your country, even though I may not agree with it. Yeah. Stick to your focus, stick to your purpose, and look after the communities that you're looking to build. If it's legal and okay and is a real problem in your country, get behind it and create a campaign. Don't make it, because in a patient organization there are many things you need to be advocating and sharing. If you have something that is a political situation that is okay for you to talk about, get behind it in a movement and a campaign and plan it properly and have a start and an end date and have a goal. A petition is a perfect example of the use of social media in political moves. So I think that don't be frightened to use petitions to say, well, we as the patients don't agree with you because of this. Here's 1,000 people's signature. Please listen to us. Is a perfect good example of how social media can be used to deal with political realities. Personally, I'm a little bit militant, so I'll be careful about what else I say, but I have to give you those answers, and unfortunately, health coverage and access to good health isn't universal. And there are some harsh realities here about how we all have different access to treatment and care and diagnosis and support. I would also then encourage you to see if there are things in other countries that are digital that can be used in your country, and together work together to create a universal standard that you're all happy with. Hopefully that answers the question politically.
Yeah, And I will also and we are finishing very soon. I would just also recommend look for a constructive way to put it. Like, for example, in GAAPP, we are now working to try to communicate with to make some advocacy for the situation in Ecuador, that because there is some social strife and chronic, especially rare disease patients, they are not being able to get their chronic medicine, and it's about advocating in a positive way, or even showing those authorities like it's not how much it costs to do it, it's how much it costs if you don't do it. Like, what is the
Yes.
human and even taxes, like how many taxes you will stop receiving if people stop producing, right? Sometimes it's a little bit trying to play and talk in the language they like to hear, for good or for bad, right?
Yeah, be political. Yeah.
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 And so we are on top of the hour. So thank you very much, Ravi, for your time and for this great
Yep.
session. And I'm so glad that everyone had so many questions and things to say. If you have any other question, please send us by email. Ravi will be happy to answer, hopefully.
Yes, very happy, very
And,
happy. Thank you for including me, and hopefully it has been useful. Yeah? Any feedback would be good. Yeah? So thank you.